Okay. Oop, oop. There we go. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh. Hey. Who do we have so far? Hey, Mark. How you doing? Hey, Billy. I'm okay. I've been better. I've been worse as well. Uh, yeah, I don't know. My energy's... It's affecting my energy more than anything else. I'm a little nasally, as you can probably hear. So my throat's a little wonky, my sinuses are a little wonky, but neither are horrible. I'm not, like, horribly uncomfortable. I just don't have a lot of, like, juice, you know? Speaking of which, Powerade for hydrating. I'm also a little behind on my grocery shopping, so food options have been very boring the last few days. I'm eating a lot of ramen. But yeah, overall, it's not horrible. It's just frustrating timing more than anything. Do you also have COVID, Mark? Or are you still feeling from your surgery a couple weeks ago? Yeah, if you didn't know, Mark, I have COVID. By the way, I tested negative twice last week, and so I was convinced it was just allergies. And then on Friday, I was like, allergies shouldn't be lasting this long. Why is my throat still funky? And then I took another test, and it was positive. So I've been trying to live on the couch pretty much, which has been really frustrating because we're off this week, and my plan was to have I'm almost finished chapter 9 of 10 of Combat for like Volume 2, and I was expecting to finish that over the weekend, and then by today at the latest I would have been starting the last chapter, and I would have just flown ahead because I had the week free. But it's now the end of the day on Tuesday, and I still have a lot to go on chapter 9 because I've barely done anything the last few days. So, on the one hand, it's like perfect timing because it doesn't need to like fuck up my work schedule and everybody else's schedule when Chris had to if he had to rearrange my stuff. But on the other hand, worst possible timing because I can't enjoy my break. I mean, I'm relaxing, I guess, but I'm like super restless. You're arriving not in a good time. Why do you say that, Louisa? Because of me having COVID, you mean? I'm not that bad. So it probably won't be a super long stream today. Not because I have COVID. That's kind of more of a happy accident, really. Because I'd rather not be a super late one, obviously. But I kind of have an idea in mind here what I'm going to do. And I don't expect it to be that long. I actually toyed with doing a really specific pose that I thought would be... I had kind of a funny idea in mind, but I wasn't sure it would really... Just as a piece of fan art for it, I wasn't sure it would do her as much justice as... This way, maybe. Maybe I'll go the first way. Yeah, anyway, I was gonna say, I was originally gonna have her sitting in a chair. And I had kind of a funny gag in mind where the chair looked like it was stressing under her weight. But I kind of wanted to, because the show's been, I like the pilot, by the way, the first episode. I liked it a lot. What'd you think of it, Billy? Anybody else watch it? But anyway, yeah, I liked it. But a criticism that it's gotten from the beginning, besides the CG itself, is how unhulking she actually is. So I wanted to make sure to kind of like beef her up a bit in this drawing. And the pose I had envisioned wasn't really gonna, even if I beefed her up, it was either gonna be a weird silhouette or it wasn't gonna be very clear. And I was like, maybe I'll. Hey JC. You watched She-Hulk twice, Mark? Well, I'm working on it, Louisa. How are you doing, Louisa? And you're censored again, JC. I don't know what you said there. But is that two different versions from a story standpoint, or is it just depending on what artist draws her? Doesn't she have to be a mom for that? JC in particular likes girls that can beat him up. Didn't say there was. I am in support of this, Lisa. And feel free to share them if you make more. Louisa, did you join the Discord? I can't remember. Something's up with this lead. Okay. Well, then definitely share on the Discord. Either for everybody or just for me, whatever you're feeling better about. What did you think of She-Hulk, Mark? Did you watch it twice? Yeah, no, I was quite impressed with it. I thought the CG was a lot better in the show as well, but also I think you're naturally less critical when you're actually like invested as well. Fan art, oops. What do you mean, Lisa? Did you know her origin story before you watched it, Mark? Like from the comics or anything? Oh. I think I had missed whatever you had said that in the first place. I hadn't even noticed the mistake, to be honest. Except in the comics, though, and spoilers for me who hasn't seen it, but I don't think this is a drastic spoiler. Banner deliberately gives her a blood transfusion to save her after the accident, though. Which at first really bothered me that they kind of changed that, but I actually think it might make more sense the way that they ultimately made it. I knew that in the 90s one. I remember renting the 80s one when I was like super young, and then Fox Kids had one where she became a regular character. And I really liked her in that version of it. I think I might have had a bit of a crush on She-Hulk. Batgirl, Catwoman, and She-Hulk. That was my jam when I was little. Thought what was an urban myth? That I had a crush on She-Hulk? Was that like a... Was this more public knowledge than I realized? This lead is so fucking weird. It's like there's something stuck in it or something. Sorry about throat clearing, but you know, COVID. Engraving the paper, just not like... I've had a few pieces like this. Yeah, and then I guess why they had to change it. Or actually, wait, I can't miss this up. Yeah, no, it was, yeah, it's a deliberate blood transfusion after she gets in the accident. And then that's why I initially took issue with that, because I thought it happened kind of by accident, almost like coincidence was a bit lame. But then it occurred to me that, well, in the movie version of Hulk, we've kind of already established his blood is toxic, so him doing it deliberately would actually be kind of irresponsible, right? So it's better that it happens by accident, and then he kind of figures out from there. Okay, I tried to make her hair curly. I don't like it. Wavy, yes. Curly, no. Itchy eye. Fun fact about the Hulk in live action, he became a Hulk in a lab accident, but in the animated works, he becomes the Hulk due to a bomb test that he was caught in, yeah, and the comic book version too. A gamma bomb. Holding some lawyer stuff. Change that hand. Not feeling the hand. Sorry, with throat clearing again. See, I don't think you guys can see this, but like this pencil is like, it's actually left like cuts in the paper. Ah. Alright, I think she's ready to ink. Let's do it. So, your energy's still low, Mark. How's your break going otherwise, though? Oh, actually, wait. I'm gonna... One more thing here, actually. I always like this look, but I never think to do it. Yeah, I wondered if you would be on set, helping with that. But then when you said about you're still kind of in recovery mode, I wasn't sure. How's that been going from your perspective? And I word it like that because it sounds like you're not there for all of it. Gotcha. Yeah, I took a kind of a day and a half off, and then I tried to get back into work mode, and it wasn't really happening for me. So then I just stuck to the couch for a couple days. And then yesterday I worked on stuff most of the day. But by the time I was kind of like in rest mode, I felt like I'd maybe overdone it a little bit. So today I worked on stuff this morning, but then I essentially took the afternoon off because I was decided I wanted to still do a stream tonight, and I thought, okay, well, I'll take the afternoon off so I don't overdo it before I even get that far. But I've been so restless. And the frustrating thing is, if my comic was done, I would have, voluntarily taken a few days off to just watch movies and stuff like that. But it's totally different when you, like, the feeling is totally different when you've got stuff that you want to get done that you just can't work on, you know? Huh. Well, fun fact. I thought She-Hulk and Hulk, or Tatiana Maslany and Mark Ruffalo had really good chemistry. I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say he probably will, but probably not in many of them. Oh, really? Okay. Huh. Well, I know from the trailer, and I won't say for anybody that was avoiding trailers, I know that there is a story thread that's going to come up that would kind of make sense if he was to show up. Plus, I feel like what caused that car accident is going to come up again, and he'll probably be a big part of that as well. Screwed over chin a little bit here. It's kind of a bit better. A trademark effort? What do you mean? I'm sure it'll be brought up, Billy. I think if it's not brought up, I'm sure it's going to be brought up in another show or something. But I agree. I hope they do get into it in this one. especially because I feel like it didn't need to be that crazy. Like, regular car accident would have been fine. Do you mean just as a way of cashing in on the recognizable trademark of Spider-Man and Hulk? Is that what you mean? Oh, okay. You know that there was for a while supposed to be a She-Hulk, I think it was a TV movie that probably would have turned into a series, but maybe it was a feature. I can't remember. But and it had what's her name? Is it Bridget Nielsen or Connie Nielsen, whatever it is? I think it's Bridget. Who played Red Sonja in the 80s? She was gonna play her in green makeup, just like Lou Ferrigno. Okay. Yeah, and there was like promotional stuff released for it and stuff, but never actually ended up filming anything. Did it say why it was canceled, Billy? I can't remember if I ever was aware of it. I think this would have been like, I mean, I would have been born, but long before I was paying attention to behind the scenes of anything. Or at least for unfinished movies. Okay. And I guess they didn't see that potential. I wonder if they would have used the Bill Bixby show as like a backstory. Like even if Bixby himself wasn't in it, I wonder if that was the intent. To treat it almost like a sequel to the show. Because they were doing TV movies of that for years after the show ended. He even met Daredevil and Thor, if you guys didn't know that. I've never seen those ones. I haven't seen much of that show at all, actually. When I got into the Hulk as a kid, when I started renting those 80s cartoons, because my parents both were fans of the live-action show from the 70s, so we went and rented like the pilot, which was released as a movie. So I saw that. The reruns of the show never really showed up too often for me to really see it much other than that. I don't think Disney Plus has them either, otherwise I would totally watch them. It'd be a good background show. Okay. Volleyball player Gabriel Reese, which stars Jennifer Walters with Bill Bixby reprising his role as the Incredible Hulk series pilot, was never filmed, however, and the plans were eventually canceled. Okay. Okay, so if that was 1990, when was the Bridget Nielsen one? Okay. So still pretty close to one another, I guess, then. Weird pencil I was using earlier that engraved the paper is fucking up some of my ink lines. Pen's catching in the... Trying to repair as I go, but I might need to do a little bit of patchwork when I eventually color her. Assuming I do, but I probably will. Yeah, part of me low-key wishes I did the seated. I don't think this is a bad drawing, but I think the pose is a little bland. Are you still with us, Louisa? Have you been working on another storyboard? And if so, is it your own story, or are you working on your, or like you pick a different movie or something? I'm all sweaty. You know, one thing I can't tell is, you know, they said that like being feverish is like one of the big telltale things of COVID, right? But I haven't really like, it's been hard for me to tell because it's so freaking hot. Like, I'm sweaty now, but I don't think it's because I'm feverish. I think it's just, it's warm under this ring light in this heat. Hey Cassidy, hey JC. Just don't get hot more. Okay, alright. Well, we just bounced up to 10 viewers. Hello everybody, I didn't even realize we'd climbed that far. Some surgery around here. This is not a Christmas. You know what? Maybe I said, or right, you did, and I said hi to you as well. I'm a little off today. All right. You came in at the same time as Cassidy showing up. Things got confusing. Mistakes were made. How was the grab, by the way, JC? I'm sorry. I had every intention of being there. I would have been down for the after party even if you wanted me there. Not only do I have COVID, by the way, this is the first time I've been sick since February of 2020. I'm very annoyed that my streak has faltered. I saw that picture, but was it actually like, it was actually one of his? Like you steal it right off his back? What'd you get the bagel for? The writing grads are pretty fun, and the bagels are a big part of it. I noticed you did with a lot of the teachers, but I mean, you called me Moore earlier, but usually you call me Dylan. I feel like I've definitely heard you call Kelsey Curvin, but I feel like I hear you call him Kelsey more often than Curvin. But Kinsella is always Kinsella, instead of Humor. Okay, be honest now though, JC. Is it because you had a hard time pronouncing Emer? No judgment. This is a safe place. I'm not sure I believe it. Or is it because the name Kinsella is more fun to say? Honestly, JC, I don't know Emer that well. I think the main reason I am even aware of her last name is because of you always calling her that. There's a girl from, I don't know what number. Graduated a few months back, and she still calls me Mr. Moore. She's the first student to ever call me Mr. Moore, like ever, I think. But it would refuse to change it, no matter how to call me Dylan, no matter how many times I asked her to. And we're still somewhat in touch, and she still calls me Mr. Moore. She was working on a Combat Fairies fan art, actually. She promises she'll get back to it. She hasn't finished it yet. Yes, she's, I think Korean descent, but grew up in Turkey, I think. Am I remembering right? But she had a pretty casual demeanor in general, though. It wasn't like everything was super formal. I don't think my hand is quite as steady today as it normally is. Mark's always commenting about how steady my hand is when I'm doing hair, but I don't know about today, dude. I could be a philosophy teacher, but I would still prefer to be called Dylan. Ami's not the only person to ever call me Mr. Moore, but she's the first person to not change once I say, no, don't do that. So I definitely have corrected students on it before, but they're usually like, oh, okay. Like, I think it's just out of habit from high school. When I started art school, though, myself, I don't even know if I knew the teacher's last names to begin with, I think. But also grew up in a pretty chill, liberal stoner home. So, it was never like a thing outside of school to call adults Mr. or Mrs. Like all my friends' parents and stuff, they're always Wendy and Kelly and Grant and Alana. naming friends, parents, and grandparents now. Oh yeah, I am excited for that too. I don't know about the yellow suit. Have they shown the yellow suit in its entirety? The Netflix series is canon. I don't think they've ever suggested otherwise. I never liked Daredevil's yellow suit though, to be honest. I just thought it was weird. It's way too bright, like he's supposed to be kind of a creature of the night, right? And at least the red is like a dark red, but the trailer though, when they shows him, it looked maybe a bit more gray, but I didn't notice it being yellow. Are you sure? It didn't look yellow to me in that trailer. Maybe he's gonna need Jen to help represent him in a lawsuit against his tailor, who told him the suit was red, but actually made it yellow. And then he found out during an embarrassing mugging one night. Debate on whether or not it's yellow. Because yeah, it was definitely, unquestionably a new suit, and it looked like it was two-toned. It really didn't look like yellow to me. And he did have a gray suit, I'm pretty sure, at one point in the comics as well. I don't know, guys, but I haven't seen that trailer since it first dropped, so I take your word for it. I really don't think they would cast Charlie Cox and Vincent if it wasn't canon. I don't know if I believe this rumor or not, but there's also a rumor that the Thing is going to show up in She-Hulk. But I feel like that might be a weird way to introduce him. Go away, spam bot. I don't know if they'll rage quit about that, Jason. Because here's the thing. If they introduce him, that doesn't mean that he's not part of the Fantastic Four. But it would mean that the Four are already, like, assembled and active somewhere. And I think that is... Like, they've said they're not going to do another origin story, which makes sense. But you still have to explain why, if they're already the Fantastic Four, why we haven't really, like... seen them yet. I can see how the Thing would work in the show, but I think it's a weird way to introduce them, to be honest. What character is that, Billy? But that also could be just a because the other actor didn't want to do it or something. Which I think is valid, because they're kind of maybe thinking like, well, we're you know, they thought the show was done, so they moved on, kind of thing. Because Jessica Jones is rumored to come back, and then what's her name, Thelma Ritter, said she couldn't, or no, not Thelma Ritter. What the fuck? Thelma Ritter's a different actor. Yeah, somebody like, oh, fuck, it's gonna drive me nuts. But anyway, they're not using her because they don't want to recast her. So anyway, She-Hulk is done here. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do one little fix I forgot to do. Some whiteout magic. There we go. There we go. Now she's done. Let's sign it. Okay, I wondered if Trish Walker, yeah. But I mean, if they have to recast the character, they have to recast the character. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not canon. But anyway, we're done. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Billy. Thank you for that also, Mark. Me too. My 5-day quarantine is up tomorrow, which means I'm technically allowed to leave. So if I'm not 100% tomorrow, I'm gonna mask up and go to the grocery store near me early when there's not that many people, and get some like Dayquil and Nyquil. I didn't have any cold meds in the house to try to combat symptoms or anything, and sometimes just one night on Nyquil can make such a huge difference, you know. She's in the raft canon-wise. Okay, so it could just be that they didn't want to do it without the character, but that actor wasn't able to do it for whatever reason, so... but anyway, you know what, let's, before we call it quits, guys, let's raid somebody. Stick around. If you can't stick around too long, that's fine, but stick around a little bit to give somebody a little bit of a boost. Let's see who's live. who do we got? Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Let's do Mega Animation. Hang on. So off kilter today. There we go. There we go. We're reading Mega Animation, guys. Here we go.